Welcome to the eDesign Herff Jones tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to edit and create your yearbook for your JDBC 2012 year. This is the first time that we have used eDesign. We generally use Wise for yearbook, so this will be the first time that we do this particular program. This is a lot like InDesign, Adobe, Photoshop, and probably Illustrator as well. So a lot of these tools, I'm sure a lot of the other Corel programs are also very similar to this. So a lot of these tools, if you are into graphic design, then you will be very familiar with these, and this should be very helpful for you. It is a very in-depth program. It is easy to use once you understand how to use it. So I'm just going to show you a lot of the basics, and then if you have any questions, you can contact me by email. My phone number will be on a post-it note within the sample page that we create today. So first we're going to start by logging in to the Herff Jones platform, which you should get an email with your username and your password. Everybody will have an individual password. Okay, you will sign in to the platform, and your platform will look different than mine. You just will have all of the editing tools and so on. It just doesn't have the printing setup. Okay. So this is going to be your home screen. These are just generally messages that are directly from Herff Jones, and this just gives us our technical advisor with a phone number and an email address if you need to contact somebody from Herff Jones to help you a little bit more. Your book preview will be here, and your links are up here. So the important thing is let's take a look at the book page first so you get familiar with what it's going to look like. So this is your book, and these are all your pages. You have 120 pages in this book. Now the first thing I suggest that you do is edit these pages. Now I edited this first one to say front page, not a cover, because this is not your cover of your book. This is your first page in the book. So I suggest that you go in and you edit every single page and label them. Kelly will give you a list of all of the events that you are to capture this year, and I generally make myself an outline that says June, July, August, September, October, November, December clinic, and you will go from there and you will create an outline. Generally speaking, Kelly likes you to do 2 pages per event. You will also be including your charity events, your children's hospital, your breast cancer, your run for diabetes, or whatever the different fundraisers and charity events were this year. You should definitely go through your discs of photos, and I suggest looking at my video that I also provided for you on Dropbox. Dropbox is a free online storage, and if you're not familiar with it, it's absolutely the best that I have ever found. You do not have to pay for it. You get additional space for every person who joins Dropbox. It generally was created for college students and businesses where people were needing to store files on the internet in the cloud and have access to those on different computers in different places and different times. I suggest that you use Dropbox and that you create one for your personal self, but also for JDBC, so that you can access all of your pictures and you can organize them and they do not take up space on your computer, because working with these CDs is going to be a lot of work. And I personally went through 3 different external hard drives with about 250 to 500 gigabytes of space because of these photos. So I suggest that you create a Dropbox account for free. I gave you a link to it. It's very simple, very easy. You can use it within 5 minutes. You will store all of your pictures. You will put them into folders like I chose to do. I personally put them on my computer right now. These ones are not in my Dropbox, but I do have a folder in there that I saved for this purpose. But you're going to want to organize all of your pictures, and we're going to use them. I'm going to not use very many today because I already have some samples on here and you're going to be deleting those. But I have my external hard drive, and these are the last couple of years that I have saved of the JDBC, and this is how I organized. This is the yearbook. This is all the yearbook pages, but I have, that wasn't a good example, that's the yearbook. Where's my JDBC? Oh, here, sorry. JDBC 2011. Okay, the one just stood for that was the actual yearbook, and those were all of my pages I had to submit. So here is all of my folders, and the photographers gave me CDs. My husband was a photographer, so it was very organized for me as well with him. And I organized all of these pictures, and I went through and I created a folder for yearbook that were pages that I was actually going to use, and that was in the other folder. But just a general so that you can get an idea of it. And then these spreadsheets are what you're going to use when you take your headshots. You're going to get make sure you get your DBC, your cheerleaders headshots, cut them down all to the same size, and you're going to have to use a program like Photoshop to do that. Your JDBC pictures of all the girls are going to be given to you in a master file, and they should all be simply the same headshot. I think Kelly said this year she had them just do one shot the same for everybody. So you're going to go through and you're going to put all of those into one folder. You are going to create an Excel spreadsheet that Kelly will give you the master name of every single girl in the program. And I will do a separate tutorial probably within the week or so and get that over to you of how to create this Excel spreadsheet. It's very, very important because you're going to have to type in the file name of the picture that corresponds to the girl. So all of these are the names. This is the squad that they are in. You're going to create another, you will create, in that file I will help you. You will create another one that's going to be photo, and this is going to be DCS 00134, and that's going to be the actual picture file for where the picture is located. You are going to create a folder that has all of these pictures in it. Then you are going to place this Excel spreadsheet within that same folder, and you're going to upload it into our program, and that program is going to create your pages based upon this information. It's going to put this picture and this girl's name on this page. It's a very awesome, quick situation, but the thing is getting these correct photos next to these correct names, and that can be consuming in time. So you have to be very careful to make sure you have the right girl and the right photo. Now, if you do not have a picture for that girl, leave it blank, because you're going to give a proof to the squad parents at the end of this process, and you are going to have them proof it. And if they say this girl was here during that photo shoot, we need to contact somebody to get that photo, and if we can't, we will get a photo to replace it unless she was not there. If they weren't there for the photo shoot day, then the program will simply put not listed, but you will leave it blank if there is no picture. You're also going to have another, which will be, this will be squad parent, and then you will say yes next to this, and it will tell them, or actually we'll probably put the squad number that they are in, and it will place them alphabetically with their girls. Last year I put the squad parents at the end because we had to handcraft the page last year, and that was quite a pain. But this year we can probably alphabetize them, or we could insert them separate. We'll figure that out when we get to that point. But this is just kind of like a basic, just to show you that this is what your spreadsheet's going to look like, so you understand when we're talking about it. So there's your folder with all your pictures. So now back to this. Go ahead and label each page. So this is going to, I'm assuming, well, I guess it could be May, June page. And obviously you would do 2, and you would say June page. Now you can, please do delete these and change them. I'm just putting them there as placeholders. Another thing that you could do is you would be able to do your staff setup here. If you wanted to assign the 20 pages to one person and 20 pages to another, you could assign pages. And I don't remember if it's in staff setup. It may be in staff setup. I don't think you have staff setup on yours. Anyhow, you would be able to set that up, and if you want to do that, I can help you do that. Just let me know. So this is your page, and then the second thing that's going to be important is you're going to need to edit. Each page is going to be edited, and you're given these options here. Here's your page, and these are just guides. These are not going to be printed. You do not have to delete them. They may be annoying, but they're helpful. You can tell them to go away. You can hide your grids. You can lock them, hide them if you don't like them. But remember to reset it, because the changes you make on these pages, everybody can see them. So just be courteous, and if you don't like them, then just put them back so that somebody else could have them. So the important thing about this is that you have templates. I have taken the liberty to go ahead and upload the majority of these. I don't know that you're going to use them. You can go back in here and upload and add the ones that you want if they're not in here. And I'll just briefly show you how to do that. You will not use import templates from another order, because we didn't use this program last year. We used it the year prior to that. So you would go in here and you would look through each one of these little arrows, and if there's a check mark next to it, then I have already added it for you. There were a couple of these that I thought were a little crazy and wacky, and you probably would not care to add these or use them, but if you do, you can go in if you like them and just click on them and add them. I'm going to just click on a couple of these for you and add them just to show you how to do it. So you put a check mark, and you can change these. So you like those, so you're going to add them, and they will place them over here for you to use. Pop-ins, I've done the same. I added, there's not very many. Most of these are very juvenile. They're not very helpful. There's a few things you might like, but you can get more of them. You can import these. Now you can import others from your computer that you have clip art that you like, but you're going to do that up here in images and not in this spot. So I did the same thing. I went in and I just picked a few. Most of these were very juvenile, and I didn't think that you would care to have these, but you can add. There were lots of these. These are just little pop-ins that you can pop onto your page. You can create a blank page and insert these things individually. So I'm just going to add a few of these and put them in here. You can choose. They're just little. You change the wording. You can completely restyle these, and you just add these elements. If you wanted to do a survey, if you wanted to add a little space on the side that has funnies, if you wanted to add some little extra pictures, there's a million different little add-ons that you can add, and that's what those are right there. artwork, the same exact thing. You would go in here and get some more artwork. This is where your backgrounds are. They do not give you a whole lot to choose from. I would steer away from doing a whole lot of different backgrounds. I would sort of pick one or two or three. I got really super creative, and I was able to make it work by using some pictures as a background. It's really going to be up to you what you guys decide to do, but there's some backgrounds in there, and there's some clip art in there that you can choose from. The portraits we're really going to leave alone right now, but you will upload all of your portraits, all 600 or so of them from the girls, but we're going to do something different. We're not going to get more photos this way. We're going to do it outside, because we're going to import that folder that I told you about. So the images, now these are pictures that are going to be in your yearbook. You may decide to completely design your yearbook outside of this. You may not like this program, you may not like how it works. I suggest you give it a try. There's some pretty cool stuff you can do in it, but you can also create your own pages in Photoshop or in Design, and you can certainly import them, because you will do that for the parents pages or the squad parent pages anyway. So if you choose, you can create pages outside of this program and you can import them. You would put them here and you would upload them by getting more candids, and you can browse your computer and you can click on up to 50 different pictures, and I'm going to add 3 here right now just to show you how this part works. This does not give you, or it didn't give me the option anyhow to tag them here, but I will show you later because it's very important. So we're done. Yeah, it's not going to give you the option to tag your photos here, which gives you searchable names for these photos that we just added, but I'm going to show you how to do that in just a little bit. But there's a place for you to add photos. You can add 50 at a time. These are the photos you're going to drag and drop and use in your templates. And these over here are your typical, your pen tool. You can draw. If you know how to draw with these things, good luck, have a blast. I am the worst with the pen tool. I'm not so great at it, but anyhow, so you can draw with the pen tool. You can undo here. I choose to not sit here and click that a million times, so Control Z will just back you out of as many times as you need to delete something. Make sure you grab your pointer tool so that you don't stick with that. You can create this, you can insert a photo in. You can use this for the text tool, which is this tool right here. You can click and you can type in here, and you can, let's see if it did it. I don't know that it wants me to create a text box. Okay, sorry. So you can create a text box with the text tool. The other one that we just created is just to insert pictures and to draw. You can draw boxes, and you can get really creative in changing things. You can type in here, and if you don't like it, you can click on that box and hit delete. Grab your pointer tool whenever you want to click on a subject that you want to get those outstanding boxes, and then you can delete them. You can add shapes, and you just hold it down, and you, just like in Photoshop or any other program that if you use them, it's the same. You can create a shape, and you can grab your pointer tool and you can move it onto your canvas here. You can come down here and you can fill that with a color. Right now there's no color, and you're going to have to create custom pictures here, or custom colors here, and I will show you how to do that later. But you're going to have to use a program that tells you what the actual colors are. You have to click this little plus sign to create. You would type in your swatch color name, But you can also take it and you can create a color yourself, or I will show you later, you will add some custom colors so that you can just pick from them. I just created that blue earlier so that this would be easier to show you. But we will add this, so now there's an orange. We could make that an orange color by clicking on it and saying I want that to be orange, or I want that to be blue. Okay, so you can choose those custom colors. Your background is very important. You can add a picture as a background, but right now I'm going to show you how to make that as a color. You would choose the color and create your color background. If you want to send a note to your colleagues, you would choose this little notebook here and you would type in, "This is Megan. If you need help, call me, 720-309-4779, and my email address, let's see, Control plus sign makes your screen larger, and I'll show you as soon as I'm out of this. This is my real phone number and my real my email and my cell phone. So Control plus zooms in. Control minus zooms out. You have a zoom tool here that you can grab the tool and you can draw a square around the area you want to enlarge. My computer's really slow with this program. It's using a lot of space. So you can zoom in, okay, and get your note. So there is my email and there's my phone number if you need me. And it is in the program. I will leave it on this page. Okay, and so now we've done text, we've added some color, and we've added a shape. Now I am going to make sure to grab my tool. I'm going to delete the star, and I'm going to show you, we're going to go back to the book. Yes, we're going to save the pages. Now, when I'm editing, this will create a little lock right here that says that Megan is editing, and anybody else who logs in is not going to be able to edit that page. They can view the page, but they will not be able to edit that page because I am in that page. So if you see that lock, that's because somebody is either in it or has left their screen up and has forgotten that they are logged in. So either wait for the page or give one of us a call and say, hey, look, I need to get into that page. So along the side here you see your ladder, which is where you are, color, which is where I was telling you about earlier. You can create your custom colors here and you can add your colors. You can assign a color, you can manage your book colors. You click over here and you would pick colors and you click and check mark on them and you say, I'm definitely going to use this orange, I'm definitely going to use this orange, I'm going to use this blue, I like this blue, I like this light blue, maybe I like this purple. So you're going to add, those colors are added when you put a check mark. You're going to make a custom color and you're going to apply it, and that is automatically going to check mark because that's your color you just created. So those are your colors, and those will now show up for you to use. June page, I think this just allows you to assign a color, and you can manage it by going in and picking. So each page you can tell it to pick these colors or unpick those colors if you only want certain colors available. Otherwise all of those that we just picked are going to show up for each page. So the next thing that's really, really important is your sections. It's important for you to sit down and organize your book prior to going into this program. You're going to need to organize your pictures into folders. You're going to need to sit down and do an outline of the pages you are going to create. And Alongside that, you are going to need to delete these. I'm going to leave them open for you to do on your own. You're going to need to assign these sections, which is going to be, I've got Halloween Clinic here. You're going to go in to manage book sections, and you're going to, you can delete them or you can just go in and you can edit these, and just click edit, and you're going to change this because we're not going to use index. And let's do friends and family. So these are tags. When you insert photos and when you insert elements, you are going to want to organize everything. You do not want a picture floating around in the organizer with no name and not knowing where that picture belongs, because there is no way to create a folder in this program for you to insert and use. So you're going to want to create these sections. These are also tags. These are also pages. So you're going to assign these, you're going to assign elements to these, and you can search by using Friends and Family or Halloween Clinic or whatever sections that you choose for each of these elements. So this is very important for you to go in after you have done your outline and create, you know, you may want to create squads AM 1 2 3 4 5, PM 1 2 3 4 5. It's completely up to you. You can add as many sections as you want to organize your book so that, you know, AM 01, anything to do with AM1 is going to be tagged to AM01. So just go in and create all of the elements, all of the sections that you think are going to be important to tag at any point. And I suggest doing more than less. The other thing you're going to do, deadlines is really not going to be too important for you. Technically, we only have we have to be done 6 weeks before print, which is February 8th, and we're already past that time period according to them. So we really need to work fast, and we need to get the book to them at least 3 weeks before we really want it printed and sent out. They do not give us a proof book. We have to go off of what is on this screen and what we can print ourselves. So it's important that we get it right, because if we don't, then we get what we get. So we'll go into that a little bit later too. These fonts, you can choose different fonts that you want, and they'll let you view them. The All-Star is really, really cool. I use that a lot. Just go through and pick some of these. I'm not sure if a lot of these are ones that I have on my computer and not ones that are on the program. I'm not sure, but just go in and click any of them, because it's going to add it to your options when you are editing pages. Your book style, I would not use this, but it is an option to you. I uploaded a ton of templates. Each of the templates are based on a book. If you were to tell this to apply a book style to every single page, it would apply, this whole book has probably 12 styles in it. It would add all of this style to your book, and it automatically gives it its you're not creating it yourself, it's using templates and templates alone. So I would not use this, but it's up to you. If you choose to do it, you can. Character styles are just stuff that you're going to use later when you're editing. If you want to assign everything in one area, a subhead to be this, then you could choose this character style. If you wanted to choose photo credits, then you would change the style and you would use that. If you want body, byline, caption, folio, you would choose that here. We went through. Your preferences are just individual. If you want columns, or if you don't want columns, the spacing in your columns. If you want a grid on or off, this is just your screen. Just remember to change this if you aren't going to, it's more of a personal, per person kind of deal. So if you don't want to change these, I really wouldn't touch them. Okay, we're not going to deal with staff. I don't know what secret is. Your view is, let's see, we're going to have to go into a page and edit a page. So let's go back into your ladder, and you're going to want to edit page 1. You can view your grids, and you can delete them if you want. You can keep them object. That's when we're in an object layout. Okay. Okay, so go into your templates and you're going to pick a template. I personally chose let's pick one that just has 4 pictures here. We'll just choose this one. I had one that I used earlier that I really liked. Put one away. Let's use this one. So you're going to grab it and you're going to drag your template, and it's going to have all of these elements already in it. And you don't have to, any of these individuals, you can click on them and delete them. If you do not like these, you can delete them by just clicking on them. Right now they're all highlighted, but we're going to pick an individual. So there's a picture. So let's go back to your photos. And one thing I didn't show you that's really important is, let's go back to save your change. We're going to go back to your library. In your library is going to be all of your photos, all of your portraits, all of your templates, all of your pop-ins, all of your art. This is kind of like an organized state. So I showed you all of the sections earlier, and the importance of the sections were so that you could assign templates, photos, portraits to these sections. You're going to tell this photo to belong to something over here. I would choose both a section and a keyword for your photos, not so much your templates and your pop-ins, unless you want to start from scratch and delete all of the ones that I've installed, and you can, recategorize them and do them that way if you'd like. So some of these I entered earlier just to play with the program and get to know it a little bit better. So I've already created keywords for these. I created sample 1 and sample 2. Keywords are very important. You need to have a keyword for all of your photos. So I created all of these photos right here are sample 1. All of these photos are sample 2. This is a squad page that we're going to use. This is sample squad. So this picture now has been assigned to the keyword sample squad. These photos I am going to add to sample 2. And you can highlight them by control and then clicking on each photo, or you can do them one by one by one by one. You can also upload your photos from here. You can grab more photos by telling it to import images right here. And you would go in and do what we did earlier and just import photos from whatever file you wanted to get. Same thing with the templates, pop-ins, and art, but I'm just going to show you these. So sections, you can create all of these can go into one section, and it could be you're gonna delete these, so I'm gonna choose sophomores for now because we're not gonna keep sophomores. So I've assigned a section and a keyword to it. So if I'm ever searching for the keyword sample 2, or what was the other one, sample squad, I would get one or several of these photos, and if I were to search for sophomores, it would bring up all of these under sophomore. So going back to the book, I'm going to go back into edit, and I could search for sample squad, and it's going to bring up that squad picture. Okay, so that's how that works. You could take a selection or a section, and I'm not going to type it, but all of them, you could save my images, which would bring up all of them. I could clear it, and they would all come back. You also, this will be important, the used and unused. When you use a picture, it's going to tell you that it has already been in use, so that you don't choose that picture more than once. Okay, so back to your template. We're going to choose a picture of one of the girls, or of the girls, and you're going to stick it in there, and you just drag it and drop it on top. And it's telling you that it's along the edge. You have to be careful of these lines. These dotted lines, you do not want to cross these dotted lines, and these red lines here, that's your bleed line. You do not want pictures to go over it unless you want it to bleed off of the page. You can resize your pictures. You just grab the corners and you would resize them. And you can move them so they are not on the bleed line. You can change your template if you want. This one's going to want to be moved as well. And we're going to, my cursor doesn't want to participate. Anyway, we'll just drag and drop and let's resize them later. My mouse is not working. So for this one, I'm going to choose this photo. I'm going to drag and drop it. And for this photo, I'm going to use this photo. And this is my daughter and her little friend. I'm going to drag and drop them into there. So now you've seen how to resize, how to drag and drop, and you just use these templates, and you've got 360 of them I added for you, and then you are more than welcome to go in and add more yourself. And you can put these pictures on top of each other, and what you would do is you would go to Object, and you would tell it bring it forward. Okay, I'll try it again. Bring to the front. Okay, so you're going to bring that picture on top of that picture. And I did that a lot in clustering. I made some, if you look at last year's books, I brought quite a few pictures and clustered them together. However, we didn't use a program last year. I did everything by scratch by using Photoshop and InDesign and several different programs that I use for photo editing. So that's what you can do. Now, your text, of course, we don't want it to say headline. So we're going to change this to say JDBC 2012 and Control A to get all of it. And I'm going to change the color because I don't like the color. It's really, it wasn't very noticeable. The same thing down here. You can double click, and mind you, you can zoom in and out of this so that you can see at any time. Control A. This is our tutorial. This is just a sample. So there's your sample, and this is just Lorem Ipsum. If you're familiar with text, it's just a type of text that is used as a placeholder. These are the 2011 JDBC girls, and you would change this headliner to our AM squad. And I don't like that color, so I'm going to highlight again, come down here to the bottom, and I'm going to change my color to match my top color. Seem more feasible to keep things kind of the same. And you can add things like your art, and you can upload these different things. You can get these clip arts from, I'm just going to resize that, and it chose a background for it. I didn't ask it to, so you can go down here and tell it, do a little cross through it, and that says no background, so that your picture just is on there with no background. And then I'm going to zoom out just to kind of get a view of the page that we just created. And there's my page. It's not super exciting, and it's not super busy, and we probably could have manipulated these pictures around a little bit, changed pictures, but just for the sake of the tutorial, I have a note in here for you, and I have a page that we just created. So we're going to go out of this page, and we are going to insert a page that the squads have created, or that perhaps you created that you like. So save the change. You're going to go to return book view, save your change. It's going to save your page. Your page is complete, and you can see it when it's all done here. So let's go to, I'm going to do page 2 or 3 just because it's right under, and we'll delete these when you get started. So it's giving you your spread, but it's showing you your 2 pages. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to these photos, and I see that these are in use. We've already used those 4 photos. You could reuse them again if you want, but it's telling you that you've already used them. And we're going to use sample, I'm going to go down here, sample squad. And so this is a squad page. Now there's 2 things I'm going to tell you about this. This page is too low of a DPI, which means that I would call the squad parents and tell them I need them to please redo this and give it to me in 300 DPI. I believe this one was done in 72 DPI, which just means that the resolution of the photo is not sharp enough for the book for printing. It's going to be blurry. So I know this because when I take this photo page and I drag it onto here, it's going to give me the option. Do you want this image to be a background image? Yes, I want it to be the background, which means it's going to take up the whole page. This is the page that they created. I'm not going to do any editing. I'm not touching this page, so it can be the background of the page. It just bleeds to the edge of the page. Now, some squad pages are going to have a lot of white space up here, and there's going to be just nothing but a picture right here in the middle. You can go in and you can drag and drop it and tell it you don't want it to be a background. Then you can do your little free form and stretch it to where you want it to stretch. You could go down here and choose a background color instead of doing this as a background. I chose to do this as a background. See that this has this little warning here? That means that the DPI is too low for this photo. Now, I'm not going to trust it every time, because sometimes this program will tell you it's too low when it's really not really too low. It still looks good. So the way to find that out is to go to File, create a high resolution PDF. Make sure that you have pop-ups allowed on your screen on this page, because it's going to pop up and give me a PDF file. This I would save to my computer program. This is a high resolution PDF file. This is what it's going to look like when it comes out printed. If you look really closely, the pictures are really blurred. It is not a good quality, but it's not a horrible quality. This is what the book would look like if we sent it to the printer. So I would not save this page. I would just view this page, and then I would email the squad parents and let them know I need them to please create this in a higher DPI. I have given all of the squad parents in the past, and Kelly, some instructions on how to do that. It's Googleable. You can Google how to make and change resolution, so the squad parents should be able to do that. So the purpose of doing that file view as a high resolution PDF is not for you to save it to your computer. I did anyway because I like to keep a copy of the entire book in case something goes wrong or in case I need to print the page to view myself. But you do not have to save this as a file because you're not going to need it. You will, however, need to save your each and every one of the squad pages as a low resolution PDF because you are going to email this page to each of the squad parents to have them proof. It's going to look like this. It's going to be very, very blurry, and you're going to tell them this is not how it's going to be printed. However, I need you to view the pictures, and they won't look like this. This is obviously a low resolution. They'll be able to see the pictures like you were just a moment ago. They'll be able to see clearly who the girls are. But you want them to proof their page and tell you if the names match the face and if there is a picture missing or if there is an extra picture in their squad. So it's important for you to save. When you're done, save a low resolution and email it to each and every squad parent. Kelly will give you a list of all the emails for the squad parents and let them know once they've proofed it and sent it back to you, it is what it is and it's going to stay that way and it's going to print that way. So make sure that all changes that need to be made are done and that they give you at least a week before turn-in time to get those changes made. Sometimes I spell names wrong or sometimes I have the wrong squad or, you know, things happen and we just need to make sure to catch it before we send it to the printer. Kelly is not going to have the time to proof each and every little detail. She does a really great job of trying to do that, but sometimes it's important that the squad parents do that. So now I've shown you how to insert your squad page. On this side of the AM squads will be your girls and their squad picture and their individual pictures, and you will design this later. We're not going to go into this now, so for now you can label your squad pages on whatever page numbers. So I would get a list going of all 120 pages of what's going to go on each page, and I would label these pages on your book view. I would label these, and all you do is click on them and you edit them and say what those pages are. I think that pretty much covers the majority of everything. I would get a Dropbox folder so that you are not storing photos on your computer. You can upload 50 photos at a time. You can have hundreds on here, but only 50 at a time. We'll work through the uploader and get them labeled. It's important to organize them first so that when you label them, you can label them in bulk. And you will create your sections. You will label your page. You've seen how easy it is to create a page. You've seen how easy it is to create a page outside of the program and import it. You can edit the page, and you can, on this particular page, if you wanted to delete it, you would delete the background. Usually I just go into edit undo. Let's see. I have not taken the backgrounds out of these yet. I will work on it and I will let you know if you need to delete a background. I will go into this page and delete it for you. I believe layout, delete the right background image. Okay, so under layout it'll be delete right background image. So now your page is blank and you can start from scratch again. And I think that about covers it. If you have any questions, please let me know. My phone number is on your first page. I did leave your first page. Please go ahead and delete all of the photos that are sample photos and create your own images and files and folders and have fun. And I will be hearing from you soon.